So that was fun. So welcome back to another edition of the Reds Disciples podcast. With me, as always, I am Aaron. With me, as always, is Billy. Welcome back. Got the new sparkling City Edition, looking fresh and clean. I like it. Um, and if you're following and subscribing, first of all, thank you for doing so. Appreciate it. Hit that like and subscribe button down below. Apologize, we haven't been available the last few games. Actually, been maybe 4 or 5 games since we've last been able to pod, Billy. I've had some other things come up uh, with my other job and other things going on that I've had to take care of, and some health things. And matter of fact, with the holidays coming up, I actually won't be back again until Sunday's game against the Raptors. We'll have the next game will be Brooklyn, of course, which is a big one. Pre-Thanksgiving on Wednesday against the Nets. That's a big ESPN game. Then San Antonio, and then the Nets on Sunday. We'll be back for that one. But in any case, lots happened obviously since our last pod. The last one we podded was a tough loss, the 91-89 tough loss against Cleveland. And then after that, they lost the next one. But since then, they've rebounded quite well. Well, they dropped one in Atlanta, but then after that, we've ripped off 3 in a row. And how do you feel about this team right now? How is things starting to come around as far as you're feeling, Billy?
Yeah, I think we got to start looking a little more big picture. We won 8 out of our last 11, which is really promising, especially considering Jaylen missed 9 of those games.
Yeah.
And then Bob was in and out as well. But I mean, 3 in a row, we're officially streaking. We're on a winning streak right now. And that's
definitely streaking.
I mean, this team is kind of just getting in gear. Having Jaylen back was just a breath of fresh air.
Oh, was it ever? Yeah. That was that third quarter burst. Like I'm used to seeing those bursts from Jaylen where he just gets hot and all of a sudden you start hitting a few shots in a row. I love that big time pull up, or just pull up right from 3 that he does from time to time. That when he's feeling it, you can just kind of tell, and that was just great stuff to see. And with that makes our bench look more in line with where it's supposed to be. We got 39 points from the bench today, which is huge. Bench is going to be a big thing for this. We hoped we'd see depth from this team for most of the year, which there's a few things that we were hoping and planning on seeing for much of this year. One would be, big games from Tatum. We thought we'd see a big time defense, and we thought we'd see a bit more depth off the bench. And so now we're starting to see that a bit. Tatum had his 430-point game today. What'd you see from Tatum, Billy?
The slump is over. I mean, we were all ready to put him on a milk carton 3 weeks ago because his offensive game just wasn't there. His shooting percentage at the rim especially was extremely low. And then, like I said, like you were mentioning, these last, 4 games, he found it. He's finishing at the rim. He's getting to the foul line. Best part about it, because that just opens everything up. I mean, 9 for 9 from the foul line today. And then also it's just it opens up for everybody else too, because look at the guys that are scoring now because of Tatum's playmaking. Romeo, Grant, even Schroeder to an extent when they're on the floor together. It's really just, this is what's supposed to happen. If it happened 10 games ago, we wouldn't have been in that 2-5 mess.
Right. Yeah. Like now we're starting to see it. And what Tatum's been great with, especially the last 4 games, like you said, his finishing has been so much better. It's been about what we expect. So once again, we one thing we did hope talk about on the last pod that we'd hope to see, because we were saying there are a few things that we think are positive things to look forward to. And that we thought water would seek its level regarding Tatum. You know, it was one of the things this team's going to go as far as Tatum really takes it. And now we're starting to see Tatum start to look like Tatum. And unsurprisingly, the wins are starting to come. Shots are starting to fall for him. Shots are starting to fall for a few other people. And now, so some of those potential assists that never fully bloomed into assists for him before are starting to become assists for him, or at least he's getting the hockey assist, which lead, him passing it to someone who's passing it to someone else, and guys are hitting shots. And so when you start to see those results like that as a team on the offensive end, obviously you want to start with defense first. This is a defensive first team. But when you're able to see yourself do the right things and get rewarded for that offensively with seeing the ball go in, it just makes you want to defend that much more and that much better so you can get the ball back. And we're starting to see a little bit of that, I think.
Yeah, and it's also just the ball movement in general. Like anybody that's ever played basketball knows, when that ball starts whipping around, everybody starts having fun. It makes you want to do it more. You want to get that extra assist. You want to keep doing that. You want to do less of the ISO stuff. And it's really contagious. I mean, it's more contagious than COVID. When Tatum starts passing the ball, everybody gets in that mode. And honestly, it seems like it really started from Marcus, and he's the unsung hero of this because his box.
How good has he been? Wow. What I've loved seeing from him lately, when this is what I've really hoped we would see from Marcus this year. I'd start to see a few more post-ups and definitely some cutting off ball from Marcus. We're starting to see that a bit more. And that is when I feel like he has the ability to be super dangerous. I feel like Marcus can be a devastating cutter off ball. And we are starting to see that. And he's just been outstanding. He was outstanding. His defense has approached back to levels that we have expected to see it. And today, not a huge night, but 7 points, 5 assists, only 2 turnovers. He's taking care of the ball too. Seeing that a bit as well.
Yeah, that's really the biggest strength of Marcus versus Schroeder. He's not sloppy or loose with the ball. And if he has it, you pretty much trust him to make the right decision, which I know some people in this fan base like to think that Marcus is like this reckless player. He really isn't. He's very, very patient, makes the right play. It's not going to always show up in the box score, but it's usually the right basketball play.
Yeah. He's been, just to get kind of a look at what his numbers have been over the last few games. 7 tonight, 7 with 8 assists in the previous game win against OKC. Had the big game against the Lakers.
Huge.
With 22, 8, and 6. He was just outstanding in that game. And just a few of some of the other games, we're starting to see him be more or less judicious with his shot. I think I know some people have been talking about like, oh, Schroeder's our guy, trade Marcus, let's keep Schroeder. I really do love the floor balance that Marcus provides. And I have to give some credit where credit is due regarding our guy Schroeder. He's been really good. He has been good. The turnovers are still a thing I'd like to see him cut down a bit on. But I think as this whole team gets healthy, we'll see him settle into a role. I think that's going to make more sense, where he doesn't have to dominate the ball and make so many plays on it. And I think that'll keep his turnovers down a bit. Um, and I think he's also just starting to find out where his offense is coming from. Hey, truth be told, you like his barometer is you can tell if that elbow jumper is going, he's on that night. And there's if that elbow jumper is going, there's nothing you can do about it because it's otherwise the speed will just take over. I haven't always been the biggest fan of seeing him and Marcus together uh, because of the spacing. But they found a way to make it work of late. And while Jaylen has been out, Dennis has been huge in keeping us afloat and getting us started to where we are. So you got to give Dennis a ton of credit for that as well.
No, him and Smart are like the yin and the yang. Like what Schroeder excels at, we don't want Smart doing, and what Smart does, we don't really want Schroeder doing. Schroeder's in there to be that like Jordan Clarkson type. He comes off the bench, and you know he's gonna get you buckets. And him going downhill to the basket, there's not anybody in the league that can stay in front of him. It's unbelievable. And the way he stretches to finish, it's not getting blocked.
Yeah, he's terrific north and south. He's just much like Jaylen is. It is so difficult to get him off his line once he starts driving, and we're starting to reap the benefits of that. I think as well. His numbers have also gone up. Another unsung guy who did not play today, but has been pretty good, and I know has been a bit of a whipping post around here a little bit from time to time, but Josh Richardson has played well a bit. He's had a couple of good games. His defense has been all right. His jump shot is coming around a little bit over the last couple of games, and we'll need him as the season goes along. I think Josh is worthy of a few kudos. Josh has been all right.
Yeah, he's just safe. Like he's just that guy you could throw out there as an eighth or ninth man. You know he's going to do maybe a little everything, maybe a couple points, maybe a couple boards. He's going to guard his guy. Him and Romeo, man, I am so in love with having those two out there just off the bench because Romeo is really making a leap defensively, and then his offense is finally coming around.
Yeah, it totally is. Romeo's been outstanding. Just kind of playing his role. I haven't seen him finish in the paint like I think he's known for in his rookie season and also coming out of college. I haven't seen the float game like I used to see from him. Like before, he was terrific at those floaters. But now when I see him driving the closeout off the wing, I see him missing a few of those, and it's a little bit surprising. I still think occasionally gets bumped off his line, but defensively, he's been great. And really, right now, with the offense we got on the team, really, that's we need him for maybe a little bit of offense here and there. But his defense has been excellent when it's needed to be.
And winner's real. I mean, he's shooting 42% on the season.
Yeah, and his jump shot, his 3-point shot, which was not obviously his game coming out of college, has really come around and been consistent. He's been a terrific outlet for our other guys with the ball. Another guy who's been a terrific outlet, of course, has been Grant. Yeah. His jump shot has come along very well. And he's starting to settle in. I remember thinking and hoping that, when this season came in, that Grant had, we had heard Grant lost some weight. Grant would have his say on this year. Grant would have something to say about playing this year, and that we hadn't seen the last of Grant. I know in the offseason, a lot of people were ready to be done with him, but he's played well.
Yeah, for his like backdoor cuts and screening and his defense, and then when you're shooting almost 50% from three, you put all that together, that's a solid guy to have off your bench. I mean, like I said, there's not too many teams that have these kind of guys that can, what did Grant drop on the Lakers? Was it 18? I mean,
Yeah, yeah. Rob says he's like the best communicator on the team. He's using his voice on defense. Made excuse me, the outstanding block tonight
oh,
in
what
the
a
game on, I forget who that was on, if that was on Tate or who that was on, but an outstanding rotational block. And that's the kind of thing that we've seen Grant do in the past, is rotate over weak side and get that rejection. Like that's how you know, and being athletic enough to do it. With he's able to play a little bit above the rim now, and he's getting those blocks and making those rotations. So yeah, he's been outstanding. He's been great.
Well, a lot of it is just having Horford around. You could tell Horford has taken these guys under his wing. You could see when Grant does these Horford like things, like, oh, I know where he got that from. And Rob's is playing. All these guys have really, I mean, God, having Horford back has just been such a godsend.
Yeah, his impact has gone way beyond his numbers. He had a solid night tonight too.
11 and 11.
He had another solid night tonight as well. His jump shot is starting to come around as well. But let's see here.
And I guess he was the reason we got Schroeder. I didn't know that. He's kind of slid into Schroeder's DMs on Instagram because I guess they're close.
Yeah, that was a big one. So yeah, Al with a plus 22 tonight, 11 and 11. He had the double tonight with 4 assists, 3 of 5 from 3. So his jump shot is starting to come along as well. So like, and Al's going to get those top of the keys, top of the arc, top of the key threes all the time off the pick and pop. Like once those start going, then we know this team's really going to be in gear. Because if he can do that, once teams are getting punished by that, that opens the closeout drive and kick game for him, which once again puts a defense in rotation. One of the things I love seeing today, which was one of the things I think that's typical of this team when it moves the ball well, was how many shots Tatum got set up for. That he didn't have to pull so many one-on-one contested drives and pull up shots. When he does those once in a while, that's great. But I felt like today he was able to move to different open spots on the court and able to receive a pass and do something with it. Off cuts, off just drifting into open spots around the arc and being able to do something off that. When he's able to do those kinds of things and not have to work so hard and allow himself to get set up, you can tell the ball's flowing a bit.
Yeah, the biggest thing with him is the playmaking. I know it doesn't show with 3 assists, but he is moving the ball and it's getting other guys open. It's creating, and it's like we're seeing more and more of those plays that remind you like Spurs basketball, where it's 4 or 5 passes then a bucket, because they're just doing it around the horn. I mean, they did a beautiful one against the Thunder the other night where Marcus ended up doing the jump pass under the basket after like 3 other people passed it.
Yeah, that was just a terrific pass, and that was that was the setup. That was another setup to Tatum in the corner to help close that game out. Tatum with 37 in that game. And just another instance where Tatum doesn't have to work as hard to get a good look. You know, we could start doing that more, then it's gonna make things a lot easier. Uh, Once again, defense is still is 100% the calling card of this team. Billy, we expected this team was going to be a top 5 defense going into this year, and as of recent, they were down to 11th. I'm not sure where they're at now, but they're probably still climbing that list after today. So I'm really like, we expected this team was going to be a good defense, and we'll have a good test in our next game against Brooklyn. Hopefully Richardson will be fully healthy for that when he was out with a non-COVID illness today. So hopefully we'll have the full complement, and now we'll start to hopefully see, this team and these players really start to settle in and become, kind of what we can expect with this group, with basically a full top 8 that looks like it knows, a full top 8 that knows, what they're doing out there.
Yeah, everybody knows their role. Everybody knows what they're out there to do. I mean, it's going to be the test on Wednesday, because I feel like all this, the winning streak, getting Jaylen back, nice little game to get him kind of, his feet wet. First game back tonight, against a lesser opponent like Houston. This is all just the preamble to that matchup with the Nets, man.
Yeah. We see, at that point we can take stock and see, like, all right, where are we really? So that's an excellent opportunity for that. Rob with another 15 rebounds today.
Boards, 12 defensive. Usually he gets all of his on the offensive end. I like that he got 12 defensive boards tonight.
Yeah. 2 points plus 28, man. Again, his energy changes our team dynamic when he's
And
out there.
One assist, and I know exactly the play it was that assist, but it was that sweet pass to Romeo that just hit Romeo.
Oh, yeah. He caught it, wheeled. He knew exactly where Romeo was. That was beautiful. He caught it, wheeled, and made the correct pass across the court to Romeo. He knew exactly where he was going to be. The ball didn't stick. He knew exactly where he was going with it. That's just basketball porn right there.
Oh, man. Just as a shooter, I just love that, because he hit Romeo right where it was supposed to be. So he just go right into the shot, and you knew that was going in. I mean, that's exactly what you want.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's definitely fun. It's good to see. And so hopefully like I said, usually I'd say about a quarter of the way in, 21, 22 games in, you start to really see, like, all right, where are we at? Let's take stock and see exactly where we are with this team. And so right now we are 10-8.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see where we are after 3 more games, the quarter turn. We'll see where we at after a lot of our frustrations. And I'm checking this out right now.
Yeah, you see, we're up to 6. I mean,
we're up to 6th right now, just 3 games back of Brooklyn, and still climbing.
And everybody else is kind of slipping. I mean, Chicago had an ugly one tonight against Indiana. Washington's coming back to earth. Charlotte's nothing special. We knew that when we played them. So yeah, it's like, and Miami's 5-5 in their last 10. They've come back to earth.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not going to get away from us. Like this season is not going to get away from them. And just I think there was some initial, I guess, panic or frustration or concern by Celtics fans, uh, but we're starting slowly. We're starting to see some of the things that had us excited about the prospects of this team, and so people are starting to be like, there we go. This is what I expected. This is what I want. So this will be good, and like if we can just sustain some health for this team, like it really keeps coming back to this. This team has been snake bit for a couple of years. If we can just get some sustained health and some chemistry and practice and getting guys, into a rhythm, like we'll see this team do some good things.
And they still have a move or two to make. I don't think
They
the
do.
final roster. I think there's that TPE is probably getting used this year. I think some of these end of bench guys can kind of be packaged into something. Like I don't know if Wancho or Cantor, even any of these guys are really here for the long haul. So there's some things that could happen there. You can consolidate some of those end of bench spots.
Yeah. Yeah, we could. We could. Right. So, what do you think? Probably not going to go too long tonight, but before we do go, so as I start to look at this, there's a commercial on the screen talking about Wednesday's games,
Oof,
and
yeah.
obviously we've got the Nets. Give me a preview, quick things. What are we looking for with this next game, which was going to be 7:30 on Wednesday on ESPN?
How is the switch everything defense going to go against two guys, two of the best offensive players in NBA history? You got Durant and Harden. If it works against them, it could work against anybody because they're not going to kill us down low. They don't have traditional bigs. Unless you count Harden, they don't really get it from the point guard spot. But I guess Harden's kind of the combo guard in today's era. It's really going to be, can we, they're going to try to hunt those switches. Can Rob not get in foul trouble? Is Grant going to, get switched on to Durant and just get scorched? Because Grant did a phenomenal job against LeBron, which I didn't expect. But LeBron's 36 years old. Kevin Durant is not.
Right. Yeah, so that I agree. Those will definitely be some interesting things to look at. Uh, off the bench, what kind of bench support do we get? Is Dennis able to still find some of those mismatches off the pick and roll screens and switches? And uh, one thing he does do so well as a change of pace guy is just, because of that ability to get north south, he can punish those bigs and help us get other teams into foul trouble faster, by punishing those matchups. And that hopefully will help things for our other guys, our other scorers, as we're able to get guys into foul trouble sooner, and so that'll hopefully be good. That'll be something I'm looking forward to seeing. And obviously, hopefully Jaylen will be fresher and ready to go and able to contribute and keep his run going.
Heck yeah.
All right. So show everybody a little bit of this jersey. What's this little thing on the side that you noticed? So for everybody, this is the new City Edition jerseys that they wore recently. That's a nice little thing on the side that you can't really tell on during games, is that you can see the retired numbers there.
And a clover for each championship with the little year in it. So you'll see in there like 07 to 08, 84 or 83, 84, whichever, every championship is marked on there, which is great. And then I just love having all the retired numbers. And then, of course, the Boston Celtics are not a basketball team. They're a way of life. Red Auerbach. What else do you want on a jersey? Like,
Really?
how that?
Really? That's awesome. That's like something that I think brings it up a notch that you didn't really, if you didn't see that up close, maybe you wouldn't think of. Like, I remember people were talking about it. It was like, it's weird. The names are lower.
Yeah, on the back, it's kind of
right. So it's a little lower. And I remember some people saying like, that's different look. That was a little hard, difficult to get used to. But I love the touch with the Red Auerbach quote and the titles and whatnot.
And that's how the jerseys were in 46, 47, whatever season that was. They had the number and then they had the name under it. So, you got to honor history a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that said, any final comments for today?
No, man, I just want to beat the freaking Nets. God, I hate that team.
Yeah. You really need to beat them. Really. Well, all right. Once again, this is the Reds Disciples podcast. We are a companion podcast with the Facebook community, the Reds Disciples. We are an interactive online basketball community dedicated to your 17-time, soon to be 18-time world champion Boston Celtics. Hit that like and subscribe button. Join the conversation. Come be a part. This place is for you. And we will be back. We'll miss the next 2 games for as far as the pod, but we'll be back on Sunday to dissect Toronto. All right. And hopefully I'll feel a little bit better. I probably sound a little funny because I'm a little under the weather, but we got to do what we got to do. All right.
Flu game. You had your flu game,
right? Exactly. There you go. All right, Billy. Everybody, have a great one. Take care, and we will see you soon.